Mara Sears, and I'm here to show you a stretch today for the sides of your hips. There are three muscles, gluteus medius, gluteus minimus, and TFL here on the side of the hips. They usually stabilize your hips, your hip joints, when you do stuff like running or walking or cycling. And they tend to get really, really tight because they're also hip flexors. And we do this kind of movement, pulling our knee up towards us when we walk or cycle or run a lot. So they are always involved. They tend to get really tight. And then sometimes we feel our lower back getting really, really tight and weak. And that's often because those muscles are tight, really. So I'll show you a really great stretch to get to those muscles, to loosen them up, and hopefully that might help with your back pain or in general, kind of freeing up your hip joints. All right? So the exercise is called square, and we'll start cross-legged, basically. So there's a few things that I really want you to pay attention to. First of all, it's called square, not triangle. So the position is going to get narrower, which means you're going to walk your feet over to the opposite edges of the mat. And then I want you to gently flex your feet so that the soles of your feet is parallel to the edge of the mat. Okay? It's going to feel really weird at first. And then also, instead of bringing your feet underneath your butt, I want you to move them further forward so that your front shin is parallel to the front edge of your mat. And then the position will be more like a square. It's still not perfectly a square probably, but the knee, from the knees to the outside of the hips, it's more of a parallel line than in the triangle, in the cross-legged position. Okay, so let's correct that again. Your knees might be higher up than mine. They might be up here. They might be all the way flat down. It depends a lot on the flexibility for you here. Now, one thing that you can do to make this more comfortable, especially if you find that your knees are way up here, is come sit on a blanket or a pillow, whatever you have at home. If you have a folded blanket, then always take the folded edge towards your body. So you would just slide it underneath you like this, okay? And if this makes it a little bit better, but it's still kind of uncomfortable, add a second one, okay? I'm not going to do that right now, but don't shy away from putting yourself up a little higher, especially when you're really tight. Okay. Now, I'll show you also a few versions how you can use your upper body for leverage. Now, the first position is just upright. Okay, you might already feel a little bit of a stretch here. How you can make that more intense is by just bringing more of the weight of your upper body down onto your thighs. And you can do that through your arms. So either just gently pressing down with your hands, or maybe leaning forward a little bit, and then letting the weight of the upper body sink down onto your legs. And that kind of pushes the knees down, which stretches the muscles here on the side of the hip for you. If this is still super comfy, you might be able to fold gently forward. Your arms can go wherever they're comfortable. And you might even feel more stretch here. If this is too intense, don't do it, first of all. Maybe just come and sit up tall, okay? I do have some clients that are really, really tight, and it's already very uncomfortable just slightly leaning forward. Then bring your hands behind you and lean back, and then you might be able to just drop the knees down with gravity, and that might be more comfortable, and that might be plenty. It's where you might have to start. Okay, so it's really, really different. The way the position looks is going to be different for each of you. So you have to really just tune into your body, try out all the positions that I showed you, and find the best one where you get a good stretch, but one that you actually enjoy. Okay? And then if you're already all the way forward here, your nose is basically on the floor, and you still don't feel a good stretch, definitely remove the blanket. And then another thing that you can do is take your front leg and put it on top of your bottom leg. And then make sure that the position stays narrow. So often what we do is bring that foot in. Don't do that. You're losing the stretch completely. So you keep it forward. Your shins are stacked, and so perfectly stacked, and they're parallel to the front edge of your mat again. You try to have your midline, your spine, directly in the center of the shins in the front. So you're not off center, anything like that, okay? And you try to get both sitting bones flat into the floor. Now my knees are up a little bit, I'm a little bit tight here, If your knees are all the way down, then go ahead and lean forward. Again, the same thing. You can bring some upper body weight onto your legs, through your arms. Ooh, that feels really nice. And you could maybe come a little bit further forward. Okay? How long you want to hold that stretch? It really depends on you, on how comfortable it is. But try to go for longer holdings as you practice it, because it really gets deep into the connective tissue and deep into your tendons, which allows you to keep a good range of motion for a long period of time, so you don't have to do it all the time. But if it's too uncomfortable, you're probably in a position that is too much for you at this point. So very often, we'll try to do the deepest variation of the stretch that you can bear, because we think that this gives me the best stretch, so I'm getting the most out of it. That's not necessarily true, because if you're asking too much of yourself or of your body will not cooperate, okay? It will resist it. Your nervous system will tell your muscles to tighten up because they're in danger. So you're really, really working against yourself. All right, so go back, look at the video again, look at all the different positions, train your eye to see the difference between all of those positions. It might just look the same initially, right? And then hopefully you'll find the best position for you. And if you have any questions about this or are not sure, use the comment section and just bring us your questions so we can address those maybe in a further video, or we'll just answer your comments. All right, so happy stretching. This is Mara Sievers signing off.